Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and I love talking about the gene keys and transformation and about this new world that is slowly emerging as the old world dissolves. It's been a while since I've shared a contemplation on a gene key, and we're just coming to the end of gene key 29 as the sun transit. And I just watched and shared a part of my contemplation from last year. And if you're new to my channel, uh, a little while back, I did a full year of the sun transits of the gene keys, of which there are 64. And basically, for anybody who is new, the idea of the sun transit every 6 days, we move through a different theme, of which there are 64, and they're all basically archetypes for this human experience. And the sun amplifies these energies through the collective. And you can also have these gene keys in your profile, which you can look up for free as well and see how the different gene keys and the different themes and archetypes play into your life in terms of what your life's work is, what you're here to learn, what keeps you healthy, what your brand is. And so, Gene Key 29, I'm going to dive into this one. There's 3 layers or 3 levels to each theme. There's the shadow, the gift, and the city. The shadow of Gene Key 29 is half-heartedness, and the gift is commitment, and the city is devotion. And I more want to share a reflection from watching myself back a year ago and sharing little snippets on my social media this sun transit go around. And what I've noticed is how much my energy has changed as a result of living here on the Pacific Ocean in a float home. It's completely rewritten my nervous system, and so I really can feel the energy difference. And I do recommend, if you've not dove into the gene keys, it was a powerful exercise to look at what energy was amplifying the collective. And of course, it's super enriching to dive into your own profile as well. And I'd love to know if you have Gene Key 29 in your profile. I love the comments that I get from others who share the insights that they found and where it plays in their life. So feel free to share that. And so, reflecting back on where I was last year, I made this comment about how a part of me wished that I could skip ahead and just get here. Like, there's a part of me that wants to fast forward and just, get there. But the wisdom is in hanging into the moments and learning what we need to learn from what we're letting go of. A year ago, I had just flown back from purchasing this float home, and then of course had to do the packing up, and we were getting rid of a lot of stuff. So it was selling stuff, donating stuff, saying goodbyes, and I just wanted to, part of me wanted to just skip through that part and just be here. But of course, that's not life, and also I would have missed so much. That brings me to this conversation with the hand model, which, if you've seen any of my other videos, I've done before. But for anybody who's new, and also currently been writing a book with Tim about the Pinky Path. And quite simply, if this is a box, these are the four sides of the box. The idea in studying the gene keys or self study or evolving, it's not just about the evolution, which is sometimes the stuff we look up at the top, which is out there, like go for your dreams, go for those high frequency emotions like joy and peace. But what not a lot of people talk about, and which is so and so simply in the way that I learned this from Tim, is that when you one side stretches up, the other side also stretches down. And most of us don't want to look at the down, which is really the in, and also the down. If we look at the David Hawkins scale of consciousness, the bottom is the shame and the guilt and the apathy, and the top is the higher emotions like joy and gratitude. So when we stretch and we dare to do what we love, or we're just being stretched because of circumstances, whether we like it or not, we have to be mindful of what is going to come up and then how to be present with that, and to not continue to perpetuate and keep ourselves stuck in that box. And actually what's happening right now, because things are moving so quickly, is the box is collapsing in on itself. And some people will be squeezed into areas that there may be no turning back from. So the evolutionary game, and this is the gift of commitment, is to commit to looking at the shadows, the shadow frequencies. And half-heartedness speaks to living our life half-hearted and putting our dreams on hold. And and a lot of times that can happen, like we go for it, it doesn't work out, or something dings us down here, and then we collapse into our box. And commitment is about going all in 100% on on what our dreams really are and what our soul really needs. And and I'll say with this, the commitment is what we call, with the pinky finger theory, is having a pinky partner, having it, whether that's just yourself, if you don't have somebody in your life to hold you accountable to, you know pointing out when this stuff comes up. Because my experience is that when you're in the, what we call the shit, or the dross, when you're in that, you sometimes forget, and it's so easy to get sucked down into a whirlpool of woe, is what we say, versus just letting it go and flow through us. And I have a video on letting go, if that part eludes you a little bit. So you can just look up letting go. And of course there's lots of other videos you could probably find about letting go. And devotion is that 100% commitment. And I love what Richard Rudd says with this one. He says that 99% isn't good enough. In fact, 99% is like the same as 1%. You're not all in. And this path, and what I feel and so many are talking about at this point of our evolution, and as Richard Rudd says, is it's it's not just focusing on the evolution, it's focusing on the involution. Evolution is what's going on out there. Involution, and where the real change happens, is in here. And that's down and in. And devoting your life to that is what Richard Rudd calls is going this new human, the Homo sanctus, the sacred human, or I've also heard other people call the Homo luminescens. And the fact of the matter is that the Homo erectus in the old world is no more. It is slowly dissolving into a new form, and there is a fork in the road. And many people are talking about this bifurcation, where the ones who are looking to keep our humanity, and and um, and actually transcend the limitations of the victimhood that we've been trapped in this box for so long. And the other path is the transhuman, and that's transcending humanism by becoming part AI or part tech or part bot. And and so important to understand which way we're going and why, and making sure they align to our values, and creating those boundaries for ourselves, for what we need in order to thrive in this this new world. I'd love to hear from you. I always love hearing from you when you feel called to share if you have this gene key in your profile, or if anything jumped out for you or resonated for you. Feel free to comment and share here. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video.